The meeting is being live streamed. Oh, there we are. Look at that. Come on now.
Hello, and you're listening to Cursed Earth Radio live as Cool Johnny Cool mumbles to himself in the background trying to work technology. I'm over here screaming at you.
Nice.
Oh, and we're echoing. Oh my God.
Who's fighting with technology tonight, Grandpa?
I was just getting ready to say, you're mumbling and fighting with technology, and I'm just fighting with technology. Hey, amazing. We made it. Not only did we make it, but 100% on time as predicted. Cursed Earth Radio live on time for once.
And I just let all of our fan know, or our only fan, I let our only fan know. Hey, thanks for not putting the crappy tin can faux intro on this one.
Oh, God damn it. I've completely forgotten.
Dude, it's not even like, haha, that's funny. It's so bad. It's just.
No, it's totally still haha. That's funny. For
no,
me. I don't know. I forgot.
Big red infected baboon ass awful.
Oh, well, now you're just making it sound good, Johnny. You really know how to speak my language. Hey, how about this? I'll just say, what's up, dark judges, desperados, and dudes in dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio's weekly Dredd. That's right. You're the worst podcast ever with your hosts.
Are we Heavy Metal Kid and Cool Johnny Cool broadcasting
there we
outside
go.
the walls of Mega City 1 across the Black Atlantic in North America? Fuck it.
What are we reading today?
We're doing Prog 2262. It's the Czar Jazz 100-page mega special year in Prog of all Progs. We've got Judge Dredd, Trinity. We're back to Dead World with Fall Dead World, Jessica. Kingmaker, certainly a thing, as is Dexter. Hey, buddy, the order's back. Are you excited to talk about Francis Bacon? Tales from Mega City 1, The Out, and here we are. It's beginning to look a lot like Vexmas, Proteus Vec, Desire Pass.
Proteus Vec?
Vex.
Proteus Vec?
Vex. Why do I do this to myself? Semi-weekly.
Hey, wow. I forgot it was the not all ages Prog, the big fucking huge Prog this week. Merry
the year ender.
I'm so excited.
We praise Dredd and we celebrate Vexmas in this house, sir.
That's true. Yeah. So I wasn't aware. I thought this was coming later, but no, I'm very excited that it's here. Not only did we get all that cool stuff, Johnny, but we got a giant-sized droid life. Did you read it?
I did.
Oh,
did you?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it. You start and end it.
You lying bastard. You don't want a Spud Dredd homemade Funko Pop?
No, I'm no. Well, yeah, kind of.
You would buy it.
I would. I'll tell you what. I would buy that before I'd buy those new Dredd figures. I'm telling you, the more I look at them, the more I'm like, I don't know, man. I got those.
Yeah, but you're going to throw $20 a pop at 2,080 just to go, look, I got you. I'm here supporting you. You know you're going to do it, so stop railing against it. You're going to do it.
Maybe I'll send them a 20% off coupon, and then they can realize that it doesn't work. I don't know why I'm back on that. That's 2 years in the past.
Eventually, you're going to grind that axle. It's just the handle.
It's true. Hey. And besides the fact my sex life is none of your business, sir.
Well, that one time it was because we were in the same room and I didn't want to be, but there we were.
Whoa. I don't really remember this.
I don't know.
Were you in the Renfields? Wait, were you in the Renfields at some point? Because that would make sense then.
No, HMK can only get off if he's sleeping under a table in his underwear on the floor. I've seen it happen.
Listen, I don't know if you don't understand this. You don't understand this because you didn't have the same kind of people in your band as I had in mine. When we go on tour in my band, I generally sleep under the table. Well, back in the day I did, because if you don't sleep under the table, people can get to you and they can fuck with you and take photos, but nobody wants to crawl under the kitchen table.
Hey,
to fuck with you.
When the therapist needs therapy, where does the therapist go?
He goes to another therapist.
Does he?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe for Christmas you get yourself some therapy. You got some band PTSD going on there. You need to get it. You need to address.
It's true. It's true. BTSD. Hey, look, man, I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
I got thoughts about Judge Dredd Trinity, and I got some thoughts.
I thought you were going to skip right ahead to the order. We're not doing that.
We'll go in order.
To the order. So we're getting right into it. We're not like dicking around with other talk about other things.
Oh yeah, I mean you got other dick talk to go with.
I was actually just talking to my dad on the phone, and he goes, "Hey, you know this guy? This guy just sent me a request to be friends on the Facebook." And I said, "Well, what's his name?" And he tells me. I said, "Well, that's HMK." Yeah. He goes, "What? That's not his name." I said, "I know that's not his name."
Oh wow, he didn't know.
Dad doesn't understand kayfabe.
I'm glad that I'm friends with your dad now, for sure.
He followed with, "We better not be posting a bunch of junk." And I said, "You'd be lucky if he posted it all, bud."
That's true. That's true. I did. As soon as he accepted my friend request, though, I photoshopped his face onto a dick and sent it to him.
Well, I mean,
hey, we're friends now. This is what we do.
I mean, you're just knocking off members of the Cool Johnny Cool family.
I'll tell you what. If you let him know, if I post too much nonsense, he can delete me, and I won't take it personally.
You barely post anything.
That's true. And I've also deleted people for the weirdest reasons. There was a person one time, and I'm not even going to say the name, because if there's someone else listening who has that same name, I would feel bad because they would think I was making fun of their name. But there was a person whose first name I thought was dumb, so I deleted him once. That's the kind of whim that I'm rolling on Facebook. It's just like, I'm like Judge Cal in there. You know what I mean? One day, I'm not kidding you. One day, way back when I started Facebook, I decided to go through and delete everybody on my friends list whose name started with an R.
I'm glad you're such a well-adjusted adult. I
was just kind of proving to myself that Facebook doesn't matter. But
it's the currency of our age. It's coin of the realm. If you're doing things in real life and not posting about them on Facebook, are you doing them?
I'll tell you what. Instagram for me is the magical kingdom. All my friends are there. None of the assholes are there because I don't follow those people. And Facebook was like, I kind of let too many people into the club. I let too many people into the club. And now there's too much stuff on there I don't care about, but I don't want to delete people. I'm a nice person. Unless their name starts with R, then they're out.
When's the last time you unfriended Dustin? I know you do that a lot.
That is our love language, is unfriending one another and then talking each other back into being friends, only to unfriend each other. One time I got him to friend me on April Fool's Day because he didn't realize what was going on. And then as soon as he did, I unfriended him again.
Last week I said that Judge Dredd and Walter did the Harley Quinn Joker relationship before Harley Quinn and then Joker. But I think you and Dustin are doing a pretty good job of it too.
Oh my God. Speaking of Walter, I thought, Walter came into the Prog last week, graced us with his presence.
Thank you.
And I remember thinking, oh my God, I cannot think of a more annoying character to have in the Prog. And then I opened this one up and Sylvester Stallone's in there.
I gotta admit that last year's Dredd story is impossible to beat. Three Kings. It's friggin' impossible. You got Chuck, Mr. Grofaz, or Chet, Mr. Grofaz, and Noam Chomsky. And any Dredd story that ends with those three with crowns on their heads smiling is one of the best Dredd stories ever. You know how many people I showed that final panel to? And without context, and I just, it was like a Rorschach. What does this mean to you? What do you see here? And I got so many, why is Hitler?
Right, yeah. And I forgot that was last year's, and I loved it. We all loved it, I think. This year, I thought it was really cool the way that they kind of integrated it into the alternate dimensions.
Yeah,
but I gotta say, I really think I was really surprised that maybe I feel like Ken Neiman here had to walk a razor's edge, right? But I'm surprised that he integrated the Stallone Dredd into this universe and then let the Stallone Dredd live, because I feel like he could have become like artist or writer of the century if he would have killed off Stallone Dredd, but he chose not to. Is it only because it's Christmas?
I don't know. I mean, he would have been like a 2080 folk hero had he done that. But I thought it was a fun story. I guess we're going right into it. We're going into Judge Dredd Trinity right off the bat. I liked it. Like, they got some of the little idiosyncrasies in there, and I kind of chuckled at, like, where all three. I guess we should get to the story. We have an analog Elon Musk who thinks he's above the law and is going to go public with interdimensional travel, which has been outlawed since the Helter Skelter incident of 2024, where HMK had a damn stroke because he couldn't identify Judge Hershey. You were, as soon as I saw them do the callback to Helter Skelter, I laughed because you almost died that night. Like,
she looked like goddamn Mia Khalifa, Johnny. I mean, you can't just have Hershey coming in here looking like Mia Khalifa one day, and then the next day she looked like an old woman, and then one day she's like got huge boobs and she's like a pinup model, and then one day she looks like a goddamn Rosie O'Donnell. I'm telling you, I don't know. I don't know.
You can't pick up on contextual clues.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
With that.
I can tell these three Judge Dredds apart, except for one thing that occurred here. Now, again, I think this was a fine story, but I really felt like hearing the Carl Urban Dredd say there's what the fuck was it that he said when Stallone Dredd says hot shot or double whammy.
God knows. I'm having some doubts about that one.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm scrolling through the pages here, but there's a point in this where Carl Urban Dredd says something, and I'm just like, I don't think he would ever use that term.
Is it where he says shiny? Did I catch you guys going to a fancy dress ball?
And no, and I'll never find it, and I'll never remember.
Gramps got some tood.
No, yes, Gramps got some tood.
That was out of character.
I said that in my Carl Urban head, in my brain voice, Carl Urban, and it did not line up. Now, am I nitpicking? Yes. Why? Because I'm a 40-year-old man on a YouTube show talking about Judge Dredd, and that's what we do here. This was a fine story. I like it. I feel like they should have killed off. They had the chance.
Just put it to bed.
Oh my God! On Christmas to murder fucking Stallone's Dredd, but now in the back of our minds, Johnny, he's still out there.
He's alternate reality canon now. You realize that, right? He's been brought into the pages of 2000 AD, which means he's alternate reality canon.
Oh my God. Who approved this? Who approved this nonsense?
The biggest glitch for me in this whole story is when our Dredd and Urban Dredd are pacifying the people that were shooting at them. And Urban Dredd says guilty of attempted murder, but judge sentence will now be, and our Dredd stands him down.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's not Joe. That's legally, he's within his rights. That wasn't attempted murder of a judge. That's a death sentence.
But I don't know. It's very interesting because I think the little shiny piece that we took away from is, once again, we're seeing this veteran old man Dredd. Even maybe it's because it was Christmas, but he sort of has a very, very different approach than a young Dredd would have, and I thought that was cool.
He does, but when he says when they give you a choice between giving them the cube or a recycle ride, you give them the easier ticket. And my brain's going, yeah. Remember when you pushed that one button and blew up all of East Meg 1? Remember that?
Yeah, but no, but that's like saying, 30 years ago, that's the point, because Dredd's essentially talking to his younger self. At this point, he's been through Nuking East Meg. He's been through Necropolis. You know what I mean? It's like I think that was the point, is he's talking to this young, essentially rookie. Because I'm looking at the chronologically where the Urban Dredd was, it seemed like he was a pretty like youngish Dredd. So I think that's the point, is like he's now saying like, hey, I've been where you've been. In your dimension, you still have your population, and which was kind of cool, because we also know that a Necropolis like incident happens in the Carl Urban Dreadverse, and it's Uprising, I believe. I think that's what it was called.
That will never get on the screen.
And no. Well, it made it into comic book form.
It did, but that's like a BG Ouija when you want the full deal.
Right. And I have to say, for me, that sequel, the way that, the comic sequel, it never really, I never felt fully satisfied by the way they did it. And I know it was kind of like the intent was, there were a couple intents. The first intent was to bring it into the real world ish, like they did for Dredd. And then the other intent was to have Judge Dredd be punished for all eternity because he's a bad man, and he does not deserve happiness or the ability to be altered as a character. I always feel, though, that Judge Dredd is his own punishment. Being Judge Dredd is punishment enough for this man. But yeah, it was a very hopeful ending. And I was kind of like, wow, is that would that be? And then I remembered, well, this is like the Christmas Prog. So miracles happen every year at Christmas in 2000 AD.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the story, and it was cool to see all three of them together, even though it does make Stallone Dredd canonical.
Yeah,
it does.
It's rough, man.
Did you notice that our Elon Musk analogs robot bodyguards are pretty much robot apes?
Strangely enough, I didn't even pick up on that. Now,
okay, if you go,
I like them more.
Hold on, let me find the page. If you go to page 11 of the Prog, where they're handing out the cube guns that totally don't explode in your hand, the robot panning them out, if you look at his feet, those are monkey feet.
Oh yeah, you're right. Those are monkey feet.
Those are
feet. My favorite part about these robots was when they activated and they were like, protect privilege and wealth.
Yeah, this is overstepping bounds legally. How dare you?
Yeah.
One of my favorite panels in the whole thing is where Dredd goes through the temporal displacement gate, and we get to see him falling through space and time, but in all the forms we know and love. Like there's a Brian Bolland Dredd in there. There's a Brendan McCarthy in there. There's a Cam Kennedy Dredd in there. There's a Carlos Dredd.
Yeah. And for a second too, I was like, oh man, I want to see all these Dredds get together. And you never know. Maybe we'll get a little bit of that. It's very possible, but
I'm sure everybody's looking forward to Stallone's return in 2018.
Dude, they had it. He took he could have, if I were the writer, there would be dicks and monkeys in every comic. But if I were also the writer, I would have said he pulls off his helmet. They immediately identify that he must be some sort of imposter, and they blow his ass in hamburger meat right then and there.
I like the fact that when he comes back not wearing his helmet, Urban and R. Dredder, he's not wearing his. Yep. You ever? Nope.
And maybe that was, the sort of acknowledgement there. Like, yeah, that's not. But, maybe I just crave blood, guts, and violence. And this is a Christmas story. So, maybe it's good to have a Christmas story where there's not blood, guts, and violence, especially when the one right after it is full of blood, guts, and violence.
Garbage day. Sorry. So did you remember where we left off the last time we saw Jess in Dead World?
So I didn't specifically remember where we left off, but I definitely, as soon as I started reading, realized that this band, School of Hate,
yes,
actually played a song on our podcast. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I don't.
Yes.
Oh no! Wait, that's right. You did one of your studio singles or School of Hate singles,
and it was actually one of the songs that they referenced here. And when I read the name School of Hate, for some reason it reminded me of like a terrible redneck like Pantera without the heavy metal influence, just like redneck metal.
So Molly Hatchet.
And so, yeah, kind of. So that's what I recorded when I recorded the School of Hate song. But these guys are pretty fucking cool. So if I had it to do over again, it would sound more like Hammer Smash Face by Cannibal Corpse.
The lead singer's got a sideways mouth.
Yeah, is what else could that be? I don't know. I'm just wondering out loud here.
You are what you eat.
So someone in the chat makes a really good point. They say that Killing Stallone Dredd would have been very 90s 2000 AD, and maybe that's the truth. Maybe in this one they're saying, we're over it.
We're grown up now.
Yeah.
Or more mature. But I mean, everybody's got to deal with that now. He's canonical. He's been in the Prog.
That's true. Form.
Yeah.
Yep. I really do like that they brought these guys back, the School of Hate. I like this, the color palette in this. I love how everything in this story, and maybe we should, give a little summation of what's going on in the story. But there's one panel here where you see them dropping the record needle onto the record, and it looks like a little evil skull Judge Fear helmet, and I really like it.
That's it. I love the fact that when they pull up to the keep that her Luke has in this purgatory-esque place, the color palette really reminds me of Black Dahlia Murder's Ever Black album. Like, it's perfect. I love the fact that Jess can see through all of this, and she knows something's not right from the get-go. And especially when what she thinks, what's presenting itself as Luke, starts trying to get her to really drink her Banzo soda, she knows something's up, and she's outsmarted everybody so far, and she gets out of this. But it looks like the sisters have set this whole thing up to catch Jess. And they say they're going to remake her mind and body into the new sister of death. Would that make her Deliria?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I really was wondering that. So, and there again, we'll have the answer sort of to one of our immortal Necropolis questions, which is, was Deliria a dream, or does she only exist in the realm of dreams? And what is she? And maybe we're going to get to find out, man, at least in this dimension, in this universe.
Yeah. I still maintain, because we only see Deliria for a single solitary panel in Necropolis. I still maintain that she's the byproduct of Anderson's fever-racked brain at that point.
Yeah, it's possible. But it makes sense to some level too, that if nausea and phobia are real, that maybe there is this other sister that only lives. She's like Freddy. She's like the Freddy of 2000 AD.
She's a dream warrior. Wait, what?
I almost ended up getting a Deliria tattoo because I needed to fill some space. And I thought, well, there's another ugly face.
Get another Walter.
One's too many, 1,000's never enough. You know what they say.
I love, it's been so long since we were in Deadworld. This time last year was the last time we got into Deadworld. We got those three little shorts about the psychic baby that got its parents killed in Deadworld. And
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think they realized that Deadworld is best listened to with black metal. So they release it every winter so we can have that necro sound, cold weather outside, and some dork in corpse paint with a candelabra screaming in our ear. That's what we want.
Forest rangers in Norway spend most of their time in the winter getting lost black metal bands back out of the woods.
Right. Absolutely.
It's just piles of bones and tight blue jeans holding candelabras. They have to wait till the spring thaw to go to get them out.
Yep. And they're like fish, though. They survive when frozen. They just kind of stand there in like holding invisible orbs, scowling.
So I didn't read the big story in the middle. I'm probably going to go back and read that. I wanted to read the Prog a bunch.
Yeah.
But I mean, I see Hookjaw in there, so I have to read that. But man, we have this 1-page advert for This Changes Everything, Judge Dredd, The Citadel, starting in Prague 2270, and it's Wagner. So I'm wondering if this is going to be the next big Day of Chaos event, that because nothing good ever happens in Mega City 1.
No, especially when John Wagner gets behind the wheel. Usually when John Wagner gets behind the wheel, we're taking a gritty, dark turn. And the little advert for this feels very old school to me.
It does, like something you'd see in the back of the comic books when we were growing up, because they always would tease the big upcoming multi-part story like this.
Yeah.
And it looks vintage. And I know that with John Wagner behind it, it's going to be a mess. Like, it's for Mega City 1. It's just going to be, there's not going to be high fives and hugs and family reunions. We're going to be stacking up citizens like cordwood. It's going to be awful.
Yeah. So what'd you think of the Kingmaker?
I read it a couple times, and this is the conclusion I've come to, especially when it comes to the fantasy stories they put in here. Feral and Foe notwithstanding. When they do stories like this, they always like to drop you in with no frame of reference whatsoever. And then they try to unfold the story in subsequent issues. And it's just really, like, I had to read it 2 or 3 times just to make sure I knew what was going on. And I'm still kind of gray. But yeah, you just dropped right in, and they'll make us care about these characters later. We're not going to build like we would here in this country, build to us to caring about these characters, and then have the second act where all the shit becomes unhinged, and the third act, the path of return for our hero. It's just here's the end. We'll figure it out from here.
Yeah, it's tough on this one. I mean, artwork wise, in terms of the art, everything's looking good. We know all the people involved in this, so there's no reason to expect anything but greatness. It is just one of those things where right now I really don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I like the characters. I don't know what's what, but it's enough that I feel like maybe whetted my appetite to read a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested, but like you said, I don't have enough data right now to go, I like this or I hate it. All I can say is I read this.
Yeah, and if you're listening, if you're one of those weirdos that listens and doesn't subscribe, and you're wondering what Kingmaker is, well, there's 2 guys fighting, and there's some purple, and one of them looks to be an orc, and one guy doesn't want to fight, but he's possessed by something and he has to.
And there we go. Ghost flies out of his butthole. I'm assuming that's where the ghost would exit.
I mean, yeah. Does that mean that? Well, hey, never mind. So as I'm flipping through the prog, as we're going here, like, when are we going to write a letter to the editor?
Oh, I was kind of caught off guard because they put this in the middle, and I'm like, what? I'm done already, because it's always at the end of the prog. I don't know. Like, we're too lazy. We can. It's enough of us. It's enough for us to try to get the friggin' episodes out on a weekly basis at this point. Yeah.
Oh, and they also showcased a little bit of these Dredd action figures.
$20. I'm in.
Yeah. Yes. Why do I have a vendetta against these action figures, Johnny? I don't know.
You turn 40 and you just need something to complain about.
That's probably true. I guess we all need something to complain about. And hey, speaking of which, Sinister Dexter is in this prog.
Yep, it sure is. No, Dexter is in this prog. Sinister does not show up.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, Dexter. I have. Oh man, this is what I like to call the rough section of the prog, Johnny, because we have one that I've lost complete interest in, and I'm sure, not putting it down in any way, it's not for me. The other one, I will say, I don't ever want to read another issue of the Order again.
But here we are.
I'm fucking good on these ugly ass characters. I'm good on people that I don't know. Is it my fault? Is it my fault that I don't know history, that I don't understand? Is it the American education system? I don't know. But here again, we have fucking either Francis fucking Bacon or Benjamin fucking Franklin. And quite frankly,
it's Francis Bacon.
I don't care. I don't want it. I choose not to have it. I don't accept it. No means no. I'm going to get a whistle. And anytime someone brings up the order, I'm going to blow the whistle and scream, no means no. I'm out.
You don't want to. I knew it was Francis Bacon the whole fucking time.
You know shit. You didn't know who. You had no fucking clue. Look. Did you get anything? Because I am no use to you here. I'm no use to our listeners. Maybe someone's like, "Oh, I'll check out Cursed Earth Radio and see how the new issue of the Order was." Come to the wrong place.
No one said that.
You
Nobody said that.
Oh man, it's not the art. It's not the writing. It's not the art. It's just not for me.
I'm okay, Dexter. I said it last time. I'm checked out. I tried. If I cared for like a couple chapters and then I just did that one away. And I got nothing, man. I got nothing. I'm reading it and it's not that it's bad. It's just not my thing. The Order, I just don't. It's fucking. They're in. I remember where we left off because it's seared into my brain, but I just don't care about the Order. I don't. I mean, the art is fine. I'm sure somebody out there likes it, and it's not that it's bad. It's just that this podcast is not on board with the Order, and I doubt it ever will be. We love Keck W when he's writing Dead World, but I just.
Can you imagine that they put out the big like hardbound version and it says the art is fine. I'm sure somebody likes it.
That's the pull out
Cursed Earth Radio, Yeah. No, it's not. It's none of the all the individual, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The parts are fine, but the whole is just a hole that I don't want to gaze into anymore.
We're just saying something because I've seen you gaze into a hole or two.
Oh my God.
So we're going to be skipping over the Order every week now for the next 2 months.
Oh, God. How about here's what I'm going to do. Every week, I'm going to look at the pictures and then describe what I think happened with who I think did it.
It's always Francis Bacon.
It's always Francis Bacon. Yeah. Like this week, I'd say Napoleon Bonaparte, some dude from Castlevania, and either Francis Bacon, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or Napoleon and a dog went on some adventures in a tornado. And then
wait. Who's from Castlevania? Which one's the Castlevania character?
It's this dork in the thigh high boots.
That's a lady.
Okay, well, she's from fucking Castlevania. They went on an adventure. At one point, they fought some sea slugs, and they met Redbeard, who was a first mate on a ship's captain.
I don't think any of that makes sense, what you just said.
And then there was a plane. The Order.
Hey, if everybody else is confused by the Order, we will be selling HMK's Cliff Notes version for your perusal.
Yeah, sure.
Moving on. What do you think about Christmas Comes to Devil's Island?
Tales from Mega City 1. That was supposed to be the name of the TV series, right?
I think maybe it's gone through so many iterations.
Yeah, if I may be mistaken, but I was pretty sure that Tales of Mega City 1 was actually supposed to be the original title for the series that was going to be on Netflix or whatever, right?
Dude, if I had a dime for every time somebody sent me a story about that series, I would not have to do this. I would be financially sound and not have to do this abomination of a podcast for scraps. And the casuals out there who might know Joe or Judge Dredd from the Stallone movie or the Urban movie, but not really read, there are far more interesting judges in Mega City 1 that we could wrap entire. I want a Starsky and Hutch with Judge Giant. like just like a blaxploitation kind of Black Dynamite thing with Judge
Yeah.
Giant.
Yeah.
Be
Like the
friggin'
original
amazing.
Giant.
Yeah, it would be friggin' amazing.
Yeah, because Jive Talking Giant was amazing. He was.
Dude, if we could get like just a whole series about the pit, and what Priest did on his summer vacation.
Well, when we got to this Mega City One Tales, I thought I had like a little light bulb go off in my head, and I was like, oh man, what they did was they took one of the scripts from the like Rob Williams scripts when he was writing it, and they just put it in the Prog. But then I looked and it was not written by Rob Williams, so my whole theory went out the window. They did a little mini trifecta on us here.
Yeah, the long game where if you haven't read it, we follow Khan, who gets dropped off on the Devil's Island. And for those of you who don't know, Devil's Island in Mega City 1 is a prison pod right in the middle of the speedway where there's no in or out unless it's by air in the Justice Department dropping you off. You can't escape because the traffic never stops. So you're naturally bound into this prison. And we hear about this one Khan, what's his name? Whitey Logan, who was in there for killing a badge, and he was a mouthy little bastard. And you think that's where the story's going to go, but we follow this other inmate, and we find out about big granddaddy Enzio Klaas, Mr. Christmas. He looks very jovial.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, we get a nice long drawn out story where we think it's going to go one way, but we get curveballed at the end, and I thought that was great because I totally didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it turns out our man Joe is reminiscing about the good old days when it was a prison, and now it's just been turned into a museum.
Yeah,
and there are tourists, and he's thinking about the good old days when violence, murder, and mayhem.
and he got to kill Santa Claus.
Hey, in the chat, our friend Nick says, now I don't have to read the order. You're welcome.
Yeah. I mean, you can listen to us, not read about it for like the next 8 weeks, because every week is going to go, and the order is here. Moving on.
You're right.
We are off that train. We have no frame of reference. We are not your source for order coverage.
No, but when you want to know what's going on in the outs, we've got you.
Man, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does "you're contaminated" mean? Because remember when
she's pregnant.
You think? Well, I mean,
oh yeah, she's pregnant.
Yeah, but it's not by Analog David Bowie.
She's talking about stomach pain. Yeah, she's pregnant, man. She's got a parasite.
Do you think it's like a holdover from her being reconstructed by that alien race at the end of the last chapter or book 1?
So, good question. How long has it been for her since she was reconstructed?
It was 40 years in between her and Kedge getting hit by the Tankanar and to her consciously waking up, right? That was about 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this can't be that far removed from that incident.
Yeah, because let's say she's only a month or two out, a few months out.
Yeah.
She doesn't look pregnant in any of the art yet, but she is wearing a baggy shirt.
Well, so am I. That just means I'm fat.
No, there she has her shirt pulled up. So I don't know. I think she's pregnant, and I think that's going to be a whole new.
Because Analog David Bowie was the first donger she caught in over 40 years. She said.
How do we know she's not pregnant by Analog David Bowie?
Well, because it just happened, and she wouldn't be having these kind of pains if that just happened.
Yeah, but he was a magic man. I mean, he was talking about streams of consciousness, and I feel like he controls other streams too.
He gave her the old Ziggy Stardust. I don't know. I'm afraid it's not that benevolent. I'm afraid there's some monkey's paw with her being resurrected in this new body, and there's some kind of bullshit like she's got the body has an expiration date, and it's starting to degrade. Yeah.
Well, one thing's for sure. Every time I think I know where the fuck this is going, it goes the opposite way. I love this we're seeing the alien here at the end, and it just looks so abstract, and it's rushing across, and you can feel the motion. And man, this is a cool series. I love it.
Where are we going, man? Where are we going? I was left with so many questions, more
Yeah.
so than usual for a
Right,
chapter
yeah.
of the out.
That's what's great about it, man. You never have any specific idea where you're headed with the out. It's a
Which
treasure in the 2000 AD universe.
which is the exact same kind of setup for the order, but that ain't working over there because we never know where we are in the order, and nor am I engaged enough to figure it out.
Yeah, it's a problem for me too. My idiocy, I think, alienates me from the order. I don't know, maybe
But
not.
it also fuels our charm and our wonderful podcast.
That's true. That's true. And hey, Proteus Vex
Here we are.
is
It
finally
is
back in the
Vexment.
Prog.
Can I tell you one thing right off the bat?
Yep.
My lack of reading comprehension when I was reading the first page
Mhm.
and our envoy of the High Vergalis meeting the day at the gate, she said, or it says, "I am glorious, determinate blossom."
Yeah.
I read that as glorious, determinate bosom for the first time. And I was like, okay, all right. Man, if Vex doesn't come back and beat everybody's ass for what they did to Midnight,
yeah. Issue like this third chapter. I thought a couple things. Number one, it's dark.
Yeah.
And it is like we had these like fun adventures, and they all kind of, now it's reality is hitting us. And I also feel like all the Henry Flintness is gone from Proteus Vex, and it is a full-on Jake Lynch as far as artwork goes. It's full-on Lynch at this point, and it's interesting now when I go back and look at all three, you can see the transition happen. But this story, man, you remember way back, I think we were both saying we wanted badly to know more about this race of aliens and how their society works. And oh man, we catch up with Midnight, our favorite character, in the worst shape ever. It's just dismal and sad, and she no longer seems like this cute little sidekick. She seems like burdened, and she's been experimented on and tortured, and they're gonna kill her.
If Vex and Co-Andrum don't show up and break her out, I'm gonna cry, and I'm gonna have to message Michael and Jake and Jim and go, why'd you break my heart? Don't break my heart, guys. I know at least two of you are listening.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. I need a win here, guys. I need a win.
Yeah, no. We I don't know how I would feel if Midnight indicating shame died. I mean, certainly I would feel some things. I would feel some sadness, and we've just become this character, and these characters were our fucking quarantine buddies, man. They got us through, and so I feel like we've kind of like, we're in that dark chapter where all the like sort of adventure and this like sort of cavalier sort of buddy vibe that we had going on, now everybody's separated and isolated, and I feel like we understand now why Midnight left and did not want to return.
I wouldn't, man. And you really get the feel of the Imperium is just a big bag of dicks. They are not good. They are not benevolent. Like Midnight calls out. What's her name? I just said it. Jesus Christ. Nade about it. And she says, the Imperium executed millions, and you're not upset about the tragedy. You're just upset that the knowledge that the Imperium did this is out. You don't care about the damage done. You just care that it got out, and now you're trying to do damage control.
Yeah. There's also, like, I feel like in just this one little like chunk that we got here, we also got more info than we've ever had about flesh pilots. We finally got kind of an answer about, is Vex the flesh pilot? Is Vex the bigger creature? What it turns out is that it's kind of like when a flesh pilot is there, they sort of blend personalities and consciousness. So there's no, like, Vex only exists in the form of the big guy and the little guy together. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, Vex without the flesh pilot might be a fucking big bag of dicks. You know what I mean? Because the influence of that character, of that flesh pilot, had such an impact on Vex. So now there's all kinds of interesting variables at play with this story.
And Vex and Coandrum have spent their time rescuing all the flesh pilots because the Imperium Ascendant has marked them for execution because they don't want any more of their dirty little secrets getting out.
Yeah.
And the day keeps saying that, they're evil, wicked parasites. And Midnight calls her out on her bullshit. She said, no. You're just upset that the truth got out. And now you're trying to make sure that no more truths get out.
Yeah, this is a good way to start. I kind of feel like, at least in this issue right here, it's like we coming back into Vex. We got everything we were hoping for. I really, really wanted to know more about Midnight's people and her species, and
their dicks.
They are total dicks, but man, they look cool. They have such a cool fucking design.
My favorite thing is here. From reading this, that Midnight still believes in Vex, and in my heart of hearts, I know Vex still has Midnight's back. I know he and Coandrum are going to show up to Hypergalis, and they're going to get Midnight out of here. And Midnight is still helping Vex out by giving the day all this information about, have you considered the previous host for the flesh pilot that inhabits Vex? And she kind of put some breadcrumbs and sent her off on another wild goose chase almost to get her off of the tail of Vex, to give him more time to, maneuver and get done what he needs to get done. I thought that was great because they're still a team.
Yeah, that's what I thought was really kind of nice too. Like, it was just kind of implied. It was never implied that Midnight specifically thinks, Vex is coming to save me, but she wants Vex to be able to do whatever it is that he's got to do. So there's this element of whether it's, we call it trust, or that's her friend, and even if he doesn't come back, she wants him to be able to whatever she believes in it. So, or maybe she doesn't even care about his purpose, his mission, but that's like her only friend. That's all she's ever had. Everybody else in her whole fucking hive is an asshole.
They're trying to kill her because she has the potential to be another queen, but the big fat queen's like, nuh-uh, and we're just going to destroy you. And it's time to break the chains, as Don Dawkins once said.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed that we didn't get the double dose this year, like we did last year in the year in Prog. We got the first 2 chapters of X, and we only got 1 chapter this year. So
I do wish that we were able to binge watch or binge read 2000 AD the way you can binge watch a Netflix series.
Right.
I like to just sit down and read the whole thing. I'm impatient, but worth coming back for. And then at the very last page, one of the last pages of the Prog, you can see that Proteus Vex will be facing a race of thumb people.
I was going to say Vienna sausage-headed people, but
oh wow, yeah, salty,
or the obvious, the dickheads.
It's strange that neither one of us went straight to dick on this one.
I think we were trying to put on airs like, we're grown up and mature now.
Yeah. Man, I'm really looking forward to this Vex run. I really am, because I feel like we've gotten to like that portion of the story where getting a little bit deeper into our characters. We're understanding more about the world. It's a simple but complex world in Proteus Vex, and
I do love a story where a small group bands together from inside the evil empire and proceeds to dismantle said empire from the inside. I always like that.
Still manages to be the best thing in the prog, and it's usually, it's like usually Vex, it seems like all the shit that we like minus the order comes into the prog right at the same time, so we're times of plenty.
I'm still jonesing for a Return of Defoe. I don't know if we're ever going to get it. I don't know. I mean, Pat Mills is wrapped up Slain. We got more reeks to deal with. I mean, the end of the last Defoe, we know Titus hates the superior heroes. So why can't we get to him just fucking dismantling them?
Yeah, it'd be a fun way to spend a few progs. Although I think forever, for the rest of my life, I will always say the Divisor is absolutely the greatest Defoe.
That amazing Disraeli art. That amazing Disraeli art.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, man, it's a good time to be a 2000 AD fan, except for when you're at the portion of the book where the order is. And I'm probably picking on it way too much. It's my fault. I'm a dummy. And I just want to see dick-headed monsters fighting dick-headed aliens. There we go.
I cannot wait, man. We don't get another prog until the beginning of January, so it's going to be a long, cold 2 weeks for us. We do have a couple things in the works. Hopefully we'll get to chat with the Vex team here again soon so we can do our Vexmas. Possibly watching a movie with some friends. Maybe a movie that HMK and I watched this time last year. We can put that up. I'm saying.
Our other, God, yes, we do have a commentary we recorded.
Yeah, it's been in the bag for a year. I'm just saying. And yeah, we know SK Moore did the art for Divisor. For anybody who's catching this and it's a joke, we fucked up a couple episodes ago. We're joking. We totally know it's SK Moore. No need to correct us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but on everything else, please correct us, because man,
yes, because we
definitely got to give a shout out, because like, if for nothing else, the fact that we do this podcast every week, literally every single question that I've ever wanted to know about a prog, now we have people who are jumping on and are like, yo, here's what you're looking for. And it's kind of cool.
Oh, I love it, dude. It's for spending like 20 some years as a Dredd fan with no real conduit to the information, because there's a lot of information out there, but to have people tell you what's pertinent to what you're looking for and to tell you the order of events is great. I love it.
Yeah. And I
thank you all for doing that.
Yeah. And I got specifically this Joe Levine. I don't know who Joe Levine is, but that motherfucker knows his 2000 AD. And he is really, really, really giving us like all the info we needed. So I feel like in a perfect world, when we create our podcast empire, Joe Levine's coming on board as the guy who knows what's going on. And then the two of us can just shout about things and then he'll correct us.
It's amazing. I love it. When we started this podcast and it was awful and now it's tolerable. It's great that we've gotten to where we are and have been able to do the things we've been able to do and are lining up to do. I never would have in a million years thought that we'd get here from where we started, because if you look where we started, we probably shouldn't have got past episode 3.
Yeah, and if you look at where we are now, it's still pretty shitty, but we're here.
Yeah, but we're endearing and charming with our shittiness and just misguidedness. Sure. Hey, I did want to say, I figure Chelsea is listening to this. Sorry I didn't make it to the show last Saturday. I really, really wanted to. I was not in a really, really good place, but me being not at the show put me in exactly the place I needed to be that night. So I got some good news. And did you get to talk to her about Necropolis? And
yeah, I met up for those listening who are like, what the fuck's going on? We have one other Judge Dredd reader here in the United States. Her name's Chelsea. Yeah, we met up. I gave her my copy of Origins because I felt like
nice.
I gave her some doubles that I had, but I gave her my only copy of Origins because I felt like
Wow.
I needed to pass it on. And I gave her some Dredd posters that I have hundreds of that I have nowhere to hang. So I gave her some Vice press action. So yeah, I spread the Dredd love. So there we go.
Now, is Origins the best place to start for a new Dredd fan, or is it the most confusing place to start for a Dredd fan?
Well, she's read a lot at this point.
I have seen her posting, like the collection is
she's
growing, which is
way
awesome.
Deep. Yeah, she's already finished Necropolis, and I was like, okay, that's your prerequisite for Origins. There you go.
Yeah, it's great. We've got one person in the States to read Judge Dredd, so we have completed our mission. We'll be signing off now, forever and ever. We did it. We won. We got one more 2000 AD fan.
And for our trouble, all we want is the 50% off coupon. Thank you, and good night, 2000 AD.
To work on any goddamn thing, just anything. Just fucking anything.
So I guess we're going to do this next week. Hopefully, same time.
What are we going to do next week? There's no Prog, bud.
Oh, I've got a perfect plan. I've got a perfect idea.
You don't have a plan. You don't have a plan, do you?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say right now that we're going to do this next week, and it'll be a surprise even to us what we talk about.
Oh, boy. Oh, are we just going to shout at each other?
You know what we could shout?
What?
Wiener.
Good night.
Yeah, also don't know how to turn it off. No fucking clue.